Hey everybody, and welcome to the dinosaur deck profile that I took to the Las Vegas Regionals. This video is a little bit overdue. I should have done this like a week ago, a week and a half ago, but better late than never. I guess I'm just gonna kind of do it. I'll kind of talk about my matches while I go. I apologize if my heater decides to come on like halfway through this. Just a pre-warning, it sounds like it's going to. But yeah, let's get started. So we played 3 copies of Oviraptor. So this is just the Searcher. It's like the Stratos. It's basically a better Stratos, but it's not very good on its own, which really sucks. Having like this plus like Lost World was insane, but other than that, it was just decent. But yeah. By the way, this is a going second list. I thought I'd just mention that first. So yeah, 3 Ovi. 3 baby, just the card that like is the entire deck basically. If this card ever gets like semi-limited or limited, this deck basically dies. So this card's insane. Just when it dies, you get to summon a dinosaur from deck. You get free OVs, free searches, and stuff like that. It's insane. So good. Next we play 2 copies of Conductor. This guy just banished 2 special, and he's the biggest beefy boy ever. The 3200 defense actually came in. There was I think I was playing against Burning Abyss, and the guy summoned a BLS and flipped this guy face down. I can't remember exactly how. I think with like snow or something. And he tried attacking over BLS, and it was a 32. And he was like, "Of course it's 32." Like, you know, like just add the cherry on top to that. You know, it was just so good. He's just so big, and people don't expect him. He'll just win games on his own. It's so great. 1 copy of Miss, 1 copy of Dino, 1 copy of Megalo, and 1 copy of Rex. So the reasons that we play all of these guys just at 1. You don't really want to see more than 1 Rex. Megalo Smasher is good on its own just for like a specific combo. Plus it can be protected by Lost World, which is so good. Dino, you can have like free, what's it called? Free Black Rose plays, which is insane. There's a 2-card combo in this deck that gets you Black Rose, the field spell, and Baby, and then you use Black Rose effect, pop everything. When you summon it, of course, and then Baby's effect triggers, and then you get to summon like one of these guys from deck. It's really, really good. Miss is so good. If this card was like ever unlimited, this deck would just be insane. It was so good to like summon Ovi, have them ash it, and then you just drop Miss. Like that just was like, it felt so good because it like pushes your plays through. 2 copies of Ghost Ogre for hand traps, as well as 2 draw. This is all I played for the main deck, like monster hand traps. I thought that these were very solid and very worth playing. So the only problem that I really had, I think Ogre was fantastic today, but or not today, but like last week or a week and a half ago. Drawl was very weird. I played this over Ash because I thought that a lot of people would be playing Sky Striker, which there was. But the problem that I had with Drawl is that I was hoping that I was going to OTK him the next turn. That didn't happen, which means that I would rather run Ash, because I feel like Ash is a better, you have more control over the card. Where Drawl, you just end their turn, which I think is fine, but I'd just rather have an Ash to stop plays rather than stopping their turn, because I wasn't OTKing them. But yeah, moving on to spells, we played just powerhouse spells. We played 3 Terraforming with Lost World, 2 Terraforming, 3 Lost World, sorry. This was fantastic. Like, even though Terraforming got limited, I was okay with that because I was gonna play 2 Terraforming anyways. Lost World is not a card that you want to see multiples of, but you want to see it. So it was like fantastic. This card was just so good. Really like no issues with the card. The only issues is like if you draw like a Terraforming and a Lost World in your opening hand, it sucks. I didn't draw that all day. I don't know how, but I didn't. The only times that like I ever drew the second field spell was when I needed it because they popped it with like MST or something, or maybe not like MST, but you know, you get the point. These spells were fantastic. No complaints. 3 copies of Fossil Dig, as well as 2 copies of Scapegoat. Fantastic. Nothing to worry about here. The only problem is that when I sided an anti-spell, this was kind of dead sometimes, but like I don't care. Like it felt so good to just shut out your opponent and stuff like that. So no issues with those cards. For the Paleos, we played 3 copies of Olenoides, which is the spell and trap removal, as well as 3 copies of Paleozoic Morella, which sends a trap from your deck to grave. So sometimes you can send like copies of Morella with Morella, which was actually like, I think it came up like once, but most of the time you actually send up this card, which is Survival's Edge. So you target a dinosaur on your field and a card on your opponent's field and destroy it. When it's in grave, you banish it. This triggers your baby, and during your opponent's turn as well, because you trigger this off of Morella. All trap cards are supposed to be 2 effects. I think I've explained this in a previous deck profile of this, but so you pop your baby that's in your deck, and then you get a free Ovi, and then Ovi gets a free search. So you can summon, you can add like Miss, or you can add like Conductor, or another copy of Ovi, or like Baby, and then summon it, and then next turn pop it with Ovi, and then get Baby's effect again. It was just fantastic. Not really any complaints there. 3 copies of Impermanence, just because this is going second list as well. You want that extra hand trap, just free negates, really good. Really sucks against Sky Strikers and Trickstars, but I didn't play any Trickstar, and I didn't really have, like, I don't know, I feel like the Sky Striker matchups I couldn't do much against anyways. I feel like they were kind of determined before I played them. The last card, I also consider this a hand trap, evenly matched, just fantastic. Going second, you just blow them away. If you don't have the Black Rose play, it's insane. If you do have the Black Rose play, you can just make a rank 4 instead. But yeah, moving on to the extra deck. This is the only card that I have in the wrong sleeve. Reproducus. I guess I probably should have organized this. Link Karibo and Link Spider. These guys are all for like scapegoat plays. They're just fantastic. Nightmare Phoenix, obviously. Trisvania. I think I made this like once and it was good. I just want to keep it in for the play with like where you have the scapegoat plus Lost World, and then you can just banish all their back row. Especially with Giant Rex, it makes it insane. So, you know, I thought that was fantastic. Boral Sword, Borreload. I made both of these probably like... I made Borreload probably 2 or 3 times, and I made Boral Sword like 6. I don't know. Boral Sword was insane. You just OTK really hard. 1 copy of Underclock. This came up once when I was going into time, and I needed to make a link so that I can send the Dinos to grave to banish them for Conductor. But it came up. It was pretty good. It was a little bit better than Repro in that case, but, you know, Repro I think was fantastic. I used it once to make a card in here that you'll see. For Synchros, we played Black Rose, which is fantastic. Just clear your opponent's field, of course. Toad. So this is the card that I was talking about with Repro. So when you have Baby, you can summon this and then have the Baby here, and then call Aqua, and then you can make Toad with a Paleo plus Baby. I thought that was fantastic. It came up once or twice. I thought it was so funny. Another amazing thing about this is that when it gets sent to grave, you can add a water from grave to hand. So you can either add itself, which you probably won't summon a second one in the game anyways, or you can add Megalo Smasher, which was so good. Just added an extra layer of like synergy to the deck. It was so great. Other rank 4s, we played Dolka Lagia. 90% of the time, Dolka was better. There was one case where I kind of misplayed with the Lagia, but like I didn't summon Lagia where I should have. I'll talk about that in a sec. 1 Ragna Zero. This card is fantastic. Just Lost World just adds so much value to this card, so you just get like free advantage. It was just so amazing. As well as Tornado Dragon. So a lot of these cards you want like materials that you detach immediately to get the dinos in grave, so that you can summon like Conductor. So that's why these cards are like fantastic, because you can just summon them and then use their effect immediately, send like Giant Rex that's already attached to it to grave, and then banish it for like a Conductor. And the last card that we played in the extra deck was Axiton. I only summoned this once, and it was honestly really bad. I should have went for a Lagia instead. So in future iterations of this deck, I won't be playing this card. 99% of the time, Black Rose is just way better, which is kind of ironic because this card's like a better card in general. But I think that Black Rose just had more value, and it was easier to use. But yeah, so that's it for the extra deck. Moving on to the side deck, we played a copy of Nightmare Unicorn. I didn't summon it. I sided it in. The reason that I sided this was because I was like hoping my opponent would think I was playing Waking the Dragon and they wouldn't hit my back row. That was the idea with it. I don't think that I like played too many mind games with them, but I don't know. It was a really good thought. It just kind of sucked that it didn't really work. But you know, Nightmare Unicorn. 3 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance. I don't think I need to say too much here. This entire deck just sides or it plays going second, and then it sides going first. Just completely like play like huge mind games with your opponent. It's insane. 3 copies of Stormduster. We're not losing to Altergeist, obviously. I'll talk about that in a sec, actually. In fact, I'll just talk about it right now. So game 1, I I evenly matched him, and he was like, "You main deck that?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. Like, it's so good." And then game 2, I just sided in heavy Stormdusters. Like, I OTK'd him game 1, game 2, I sided the Stormdusters, set them, and then he set 2 back row, I Stormdustered him, and then attacked next turn for game. It was, like, the fastest game I've ever had. It was, like, I don't know, it was really, really short. He was, like, late to the table. It was, like, I think it was just barely under the time where you get the game loss, or something like that. I didn't really, like, want to call a judge over it or whatever if it was, like, exactly 3 minutes, because, like, whatever, it's fine. So we played game 1, I killed him, like, maybe, like, that was maybe like a 5-minute game, and then game 2 was maybe like a 3-minute game. It was so bad. It was like 8 minutes, and we were like 29 minutes after because of like he was a little late. But yeah. Anyways, moving on. Strikes are just fantastic. I wanted to play this against the PK hero deck plus like Burning Abyss, and it's also pretty good against Sky Striker. So you know, 3 copies of Shared Ride, just because I don't want to lose to Sky Striker. But yeah, and then Dark Hole Key for PK Hero and Burning Abyss, I guess. But I don't know, Burning Abyss was a bit weird. That was it for the entire deck profile. My matchups, I played 3 Sky Striker. I won 2 and lost the 3rd. And then let's see, I played 2 Draco. I think I lost both of those, which I was not very good. Like, my record wasn't really that good. So, like, don't take this as like the be-all end-all amazing deck profile of dinosaurs. This deck needs a lot of work, but I thought it was fairly solid. But yeah, I played 3 Sky Striker, 1, 2, lost 1, 2 Draco, lost both. I played against Burning Abyss and I won. Played against let's see, I can't remember all of my matchups. That might have been all of them actually. But yeah, it was just a little bit different. Oh, and then the Altergeist played. I think that's it. So, I don't know. I did just decent. I went 4-4 after, so I didn't want to take any draws. In fact, I would have drawn against the Drew Draco, one of the True Dracos, but I just didn't decide to like grind it. I was like, dude, you can just take the win. I don't want to have a draw, because I feel like draws suck. Like, they really ruin your record. But yeah, I don't know. That was just my entire like weekend. It was pretty fun. We're gonna go back in like a month, I think just under a month, for another regional that's down there. So hopefully I'll do a bit better and I'll get my invite, because I have been like pretty close, but I just can't seem to get it. Anyways, I'm rambling at this point. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.